back to playing our LumineNight. I don't know how to do this actually. Okay. I can do this. I can do this. I also got a snack while I'm on my break. I'm eating popcorn. It's chocolate and peppermint. The Christmas present, so it's a Christmas special flavor. Pretty good. Save him. This is a spot they saved, I think. Hopefully. Okay. That person's coming back. Once he turns. Oh my god, they treat police is so fast. Holy shit. Oh, phew, got it. Worked. I didn't know it would work, but it got past them somehow. Let's hurry upstairs. They said it was murder. I'm sure William would be there. Let's hope it's not William that's murdered, for fuck's sake. Hotel Clara, second floor corridor. Room 805. 805, this way. I think straight down the corridor on to the left. Well, good that we know where to go. Oh my god. Of course I have to do this again. But I don't think we can do anything about the guy just standing there. Could just give up now. Anything would do. Something to distract him for a little while. Maybe I could cause a commotion on the first floor. We can sneak inside while to distract them. Well, I think that person would know that all the other employees are on the first floor. I'm not sure if that'll make him go downstairs. So even if we distract him, we need to do it on this floor. I don't think he'll leave his spot unless there's something as dangerous as a murder. What could be as dangerous as a murder? What about that thing on that wall? Fire alarm? Or saying we should trip it? Then the guy will come running here. He wouldn't be standing there waiting for a different employee to turn it off. But that's just wrong. Everyone here will be confused by the murder, and a fire alarm will only make it worse. An employee will run here to turn it off anyway. No. If we trip their alarm, we don't have to wait to get past the employee to open the door. I'll trip the lever and run. You hide over there and go inside alone. You want me to go alone after all this? I don't know anyone here, but you had to share his goddaughter. You worked something out. Give me some time, I'll see if there's a different way. If we can't find a different way, I can be the bait. Don't worry. I should see if there's anything on this corridor that I can use. Okay. There's an emergency hammer? Why do I see a glint on the hammer? The fishing line? I don't think hammers come with it originally. Who could have tied this line to the hammer? Wait, there's a thumbtack on the ground. I'm glad I didn't step on it. This thumbtack wasn't just left on the ground, it seems. Someone put it here intentionally using wax. But why would someone do that? Right under the fire alarm of all places. A manual fire alarm. It trips when the level is put downwards. It's a narrow corridor. The employee will notice as soon as the level is pulled. Ben says he'll be the decoy, but if he does something suspicious right now, it'll be difficult for him to get out of the situation. considering what happened at the hotel. Wouldn't there be a way to pull the lever automatically? Okay, so we need a line to tie it to the hammer and then the alarm thing. I think it's a cart that employees use to deliver room service. Guess you can order alcohol and balloons for room service? What's this box here? Dry ice. Hey Ben, do people put dry ice in alcohol? Haven't you seen it before? They sometimes use it as decoration. Smoke coming from it is cool in a cocktail. Sorry, I'm eating a snack if you guys can hear it. Wait, but swallowing it will be dangerous. Of course. That's why they'll put a tiny bit in it. Will a tiny bit still be fine? A finger size slice of dry ice will still make a lot of smoke. I was saying if it's time to eat. That's how some people use dry ice. It sublimates in room temperature to turn into gas, which has a larger volume. Oh, I had this conversation already. I think I'll hide behind this car. It'd be best if I hide here and then run to room 208. A 2805 door as soon as the employee walks past. I can't come here to hide after I put a lever. The corridor is too narrow and the employee would definitely notice me. I think I roughly know what to do. I should organize my thoughts now. To get inside room 2805, while the employee is distracted by the fire alarm, I would be hidden already by the time the alarm is tripped. Which means that the one who puts the alarm will not be able to go inside room 2805. If there was a different way, one of us would to give up here. But what if we could manage to trip the alarm remotely without touching it? Both of us could sneak into room 2805. Maybe if I use the things someone left around the fire alarm to my benefit. I don't have to wait. I don't think we can wait here forever. I have an idea. We'll distract the employee of the fire alarm. So that was really the only way, But I won't be going alone. And how does that work? So the way it is going to work is... Right. Then there's the dry ice. So there's the dry ice. Wait, no, there's the balloon. And the dry ice. No. Like this. How's that? The remote lever pull. How's that for a trick? I honestly wasn't expecting much, but this is much more elaborate than I thought. This will help us both get inside the room after hiding behind that cart without being noticed by the employee. A thumbtack? Did you bring it? No, I don't know who did it, but it was already stuck to the floor. Someone stuck it to the floor using wax, but why? I'm only guessing. But someone could have used this trick before? Used this trick? The remote lever pull, I mean. The fishing line, thumbtack, the balloon, and the dry ice. Don't you think it's a bit too much of a coincidence? I mean, yes, it's weird. I have a feeling that it might have something to do with what happened inside that room. I guess we'll find out once we get there. Right. You came up with the trick, so I'll get it in place. You go hide somewhere. Okay. Good luck. Okay, and then I'm hiding. Anyway, I somehow just decided to trip a fire alarm out of nowhere. I guess it won't be an issue. The employees on the first floor are doing a good job guiding the gas. The alarm just goes off for a moment. Celine, I'm ready. Now we wait for the balloon to pop, right? Yep, it'll pop soon. It's dry ice, so... And just as he does that, it worked. The plan worked. Let's go inside already. Come on. Is there really a dead person? Okay. William, you're here, aren't you? What? We'll let you in here. Where's William? Sheriff William Russell. I told you to stop anyone from coming in. William, did he not come here after the murder? He must have been here somewhere. I'm sorry, there must have been an employee at the door. I'm William's goddaughter. And you're his goddaughter, not a policewoman. Of course I'm not a policewoman. Hey, who told you to talk to Detective Foster like that? So what? Ha, you cops called us over, so we came straight here. You can't treat us like this, can you? But that's nonsense. We never called a detective. The sheriff asked for one. What, Sheriff Russell? He said he would have to talk to the bartender around 6, and that he's delegating us all of his authority. What was he even thinking? Time's already 6:02. William isn't here right now. Does it mean that he really went to see the bartender like the document said? Is that really more important than the murder? Seriously, if we weren't detectives the sheriff specifically asked for, why would the hotel cell even let us through here? I get it now. You two are real detectives that William called for? Hey, Ben, you just lied, right? This is what you call silver tongue, young detective. You now feel the need for a guardian? Helper, not guardian. I'm the detective, you're my assistant. Oh, of course, as you wish. You're telling me this kid is a detective. This is a prank, isn't it? Why would the sheriff have a kid deal with a murder? I told you, William's my godfather. You underestimate what the great detective of Summerset, Celine Foster. Cut the crap. Her godfather knows how good she is because he's known her for a long time. There's no place for nepotism. This is a serious problem. If Miss Foster wasn't a great detective, why would I, a capable, handsome young man with a bright future ahead of me, be working as an assistant to a tiny girl like this? Oh, great. He was obviously just waiting for this moment. Of course. Oh, he's letting him do this. Now, let's cut the chat and get to work. Really kind of wasting time. A person died, right? First, I'd like to hear what happened here. Ew. Oh, well, I'll make it quick. Listen up. A few moments ago, around 5:30, an employee at this hotel found a dead person in this room. Luckily, I was staying at room 3805 and decided to come downstairs. I investigated the scene thoroughly. I concluded the victim could have committed suicide, or him, this man right here, killed him. Him. What? Him? I didn't do it. I don't even know how to shoot. Come on. That's not proof. You just need to pull the trigger. I really didn't do it. Please trust me. Wait a minute. Why do you think he's the murderer? But I haven't been to tell the story, I guess. Hey, James, was that your name? Yes. Come on. Say what you did and saw again. I'm telling you, you best not think about changing your story up. Of course. So around 5:15, someone from credit card company visited the reception desk. I was wondering what the matter was, but the person said it's because of a card belonging to Samantha Mayer, who was staying in the hotel. The representative said the card was under a false name and should not exist somehow. So, since Miss Samantha was staying at room 2805 right here, I decided to go upstairs because the card, gotta pay for her stay, right? But when I knocked on the door, I heard a gun being fired inside. Then I knocked and there was no reply. So I thought, I don't know what this is, but this must be a big deal. I went back downstairs, called the security team, and opened the door, and I found a corpse. They opened the door on 5:30, yes? That's right. So there was a 15-minute gap between when you heard the gunshot and when you called the security team upstairs. So nobody was guarding room 2805 during the 15 minutes, correct? Yes. There was nobody. I went there alone. After I went downstairs, there was nobody there. You get it now? If this employee is telling the truth, Samantha may have committed suicide in her room. But it's also possible that within those 15 minutes, this employee right here opened the door, went inside, and shot the woman dead. I didn't do it. Please trust me. But the other employees seem to believe it was murder. It was not clear if it's a murder or a suicide. Why is everyone saying that it's murder? How would I know? People always remember the sauciest details. Someone died, it could have been murder, then people just go around saying it was murder. I think I should take a look at the scene, may I? Whatever, take as many looks till I won't change anything. Celine, are you sure gonna be okay? There's gonna be a real corpse inside. You can stop now if you want to. You don't have to see that yourself. Why am I so worried about it? I got a strong stomach than you think. I've seen it before. A corpse, I mean? Not yet, but not yet. Not yet. Normal people go on their lives without ever seeing a corpse. I told you, right? I'm not playing detective. I'm not looking away no matter how terrible or scary it is. Detectives exist to uncover truths and solve problems. Think of it, the sheriff, your godfather isn't here. Why don't we just leave the scene to the cop and go look for him? Hey, come here, I need to cuff you. You're going to the station one way or another. Please, officer, I'm really innocent. I got 3 kids! No, I can't just let something like this go as if nothing happened. Neither way, until this situation is resolved properly, we have to sneak past all the employees looking for William. That's not going to be easy. Well, okay. If you insist, I won't stop you. I told him I can do it, but I really should be careful from now on. Someone just died here. I can't waste any time or make any mistakes. Take a deep breath. I should inspect the corpse and traces around the room. Okay. Yes, in the hotel could have stored their valuables in the safe. I've never seen a safe made of ebony. Luxury hotels are expensive for a reason, huh? What's this behind the safe? Looks like a fountain pen, but it's burned. Fountain pen? This? Look, there's a tip. There's a bunch of ash around it, too. Must be that someone burned a fountain pen on this table. Why would a person even do that and when? Anyway, this. I think I've seen this thing before. Is it common design for fountain pens? No, the contrary, actually. I've never seen a fountain pen that looks like this. Oh, where have I seen this before? Hotel Clara, room 2805. This room's key. Key is proof that this room was a locked room. Key was inside the room. The door and even the windows were locked shut. There's no way outside of this room. Therefore, if she did not commit suicide, the first one to find the body would have been the culprit. Those are our own 2 possibilities. I really didn't do it, officer. Please. Is this the only key to the room? Yes, that's right. There's technically 2. Give 1 to the guest and keep it spare as well. We'll use the spare key to get inside the room. That's right. Is there a chance someone could have stolen the spare key? I don't think so. The spare key is hung on the wall of the reception desk. People who walk past the desk can see it. The staff are around there around the clock. If someone had taken it, we would have known. When you first found a body in the room at 5:30, were there any other employees with you? Yes, 2 other colleagues came upstairs with me, and we found she was dead. Miss Samantha, I mean. But when I said I knocked on the door 15 minutes ago, Officer Gregory said I should stay here. I really didn't do it. That's strange. If it was telling the truth, I don't see how he could have been a murderer. Nothing strange about this. If he could come in here, he would have to have used the spare key before the body was first found. But it's impossible to do that without other people noticing. Can you trust this guy? I didn't lie. He says he's not lying. Miss Goody Two Shoes Detective, let me tell you exactly how this murderer right here unlocked the door. Actually, how you left the key inside. How's that? Are you saying the murderer left the key inside the room? When this murderer came inside pretending as if he was the first one to the scene at 5:30, while the other staff were confused and panicking from the smell of the blood and gunpowder in the room, the sneaky murderer left the room 2805 key that he stole from Samantha Mayer right on the table right there. What are you talking about? He had the key to room 2805? Yes, so he was lying when he said he knocked on the door at 5:15 and heard a gunshot. He had long killed Samantha Mayer and had been waiting for the right time to report the crime after leaving the scene and locking the door. Only the first person who found the body could secretly leave the key at the scene and make it look like a locked room. Shut up, stalker. So he's just assuming. These are all you're just thinking. These are hypotheses. It's not real. What do you say when I asked the staff who found if they had seen the key when they entered the room? You said you didn't have time to notice it. Nobody saw there was a key on the table as soon as you got here. That's because it was like that. Of course we had to check on the guests. Well, then when exactly did you first find out that the key was on the table? That's when I first came inside to investigate this ghastly murder. Nobody knew where the key was before the investigation started. I see this is valuable information. Now you're quiet because you don't have anything to say. No, it's because I'm expecting. Fuck you. This person just makes up hypotheses like, oh, I'm assuming this. Let's talk to the employee first. Oh, I need to collect more information. Sorry? Do you think I'm the murderer? I don't want to jump to any conclusions before It's really not me. I want to keep working here. I just got to work on time. I even volunteered to work overtime. Let's see. I got 3 keys to defeat Detective Tree. Why did I kill a person? Okay, calm down. I'm trying to set everything straight, okay? Okay, inspect it thoroughly. This is Samantha Mayer. Entire bed is drenched in blood. A bullet entered her room while she was laying down. I should inspect the corpse closely. Shot in the head, died instantly. Can't see any signs of her resisting or any other wounds. Looks like a suicide, but she was killed. A murder, all while Summerset had been in an uproar about the article on Scarlet West. Could it really be that Samantha Mayer's death is completely irrelevant to TCS? Okay. So I'm snacking while I'm playing. I'm hungry. I might take pauses between, like, just to eat. Also, pistol in the left hand. If she shot herself with this gun, it would be logical to conclude Samantha Mayer committed suicide. But her hands are too clean to think that she shot herself. If she fired the gun on her head while laying down, would have been covered with gunpowder, residue, and blood. Her clothes, the pillow and the blanket is all drenched, but her hand is clean. Why is this sticking out of her pocket? A small umbrella? Hey, Ben, do you know what this is for? Yeah, a little umbrella for a cocktail. A cocktail, you say? Where do you find it? Here, it was in Samantha Mayer's jacket. In one of her pockets? Well, I guess she had a drink somewhere and took it with her. Would you do that? No, not normally. Some people might live a thing or two when they're drunk. Lift something? Well, it's not exactly a crime, but they might take a little umbrella like this or something of the sort. Drunk antics. Did Samantha Mayer drink before she died? Hole here must be one bullet. What happened here? Maybe the bullet shot at Samantha Mayer's head when the employee knocked on the door wasn't the only one fired? Excuse me, was the bed always like that? I'm sorry, I'm not sure I follow. Look here, looks like somebody shot a gun at the bed. I've never seen that before. You said I heard one gunshot when you knocked on the door, yes? Yes, I only heard one and ran downstairs as soon as I heard it. Do you remember hearing another gunshot within the 15 minutes you were away from the room? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe there was another gunshot and none of us heard it. Was there anyone who thinks they might have heard another gunshot? No. But only I heard the gunshot at 5:15 anyway. It's a bit difficult to hear the noise from a different floor. The soundproofing is quite nice in this hotel. 2 bullets were fired inside this room. One was fired when the employee knocked at 5:15, but when was the other bullet fired and why? Noises coming from inside the room can't be heard unless someone was walking past it. But still, there's always a chance that someone could have heard it. The murderer couldn't have shot it whenever he felt like it. It would have been shot after the murderer made it sure that nobody was around. When could that have been? Okay, nothing else. This is room service menu. Limited seasonal drink, the Sunset Valley, admire the waterfall over the sunset. Ah! The orange cocktail matches up with the dry ice waterfall. I thought alcohol was just alcohol. I guess some cocktails are a bit more artsy than others. So that's what the dry ice was for. Party balloon set for a happy anniversary. So that's why there were balloons in the cart at the corridor. It wouldn't have been difficult to get the balloons if someone was just staying in this hotel. That's Samantha Mayer's bag on the table. I should see what's inside. There's a gun in the bag, same type as the one on the floor. But why is this gun clean? It's almost like the gun was put inside the bag after the ink already leaked. Looks like a cigarette pack made out of steel, but it's empty. It's covered in ink. Wait, I think I've seen this emblem somewhere before. Wait, Hamal? I'm sure I read about it in Bruce Wick's journal. He said he got a pack from Cardwell. Did Samantha Mayer have something to do with Bruce Wig? I think this ink bottle leaked. That would explain why the bag was like that. The ink's already dried up. This means that bottle leaked some time ago. I'm guessing the bottle leaked while she was carrying the bag before she got to the hotel and smeared the insides with ink. It's a notepad and a pencil. It's probably complimentary. I'm guessing Samantha Mayer wrote something, seeing as to how it's on the table like this. Maybe it'll be good we could see what she wrote. We could check. Check? How? A little bit of pencil lead on the paper will do the trick. Any indents made by writing will not be covered with lead. Got a pencil here, give it a try. Alright, I don't need a little bit. I brought what was promised. Rendezvous on the 12th, 11 p.m. Be at the hotel bar. Samantha Mayer met someone last night at the hotel bar. I wonder what she was doing with that person. Yeah, who could she have given the promised things to? I just see if anyone saw Samantha Mayer and the person she was supposed to meet at the bar around 11 p.m. last night. There's a gun and a few bullets on the windowsill. I suppose this gun and the bullets would have belonged to Miss Mayer. Yeah, she must carry it with her in a bag. She seems to be too well armed for a person who's about to commit suicide. The guns all look the same. Isn't this the service weapon for Summerset Police? Yeah, it's common model. William, please don't tell me he killed somebody. Large window. Could I guess inside this room open these windows? Oh yes, of course. It was closed when I opened the door though. So the latch is on the inside of the window. This means that the murderer couldn't have left through the window. Once the murderer leaves, he wouldn't have been able to adjust the latch. Okay. I sometimes like to ask employee detective. Okay, Alright, I'll talk to you last. Something's at the bathroom. Stop right there. Stand by, you're not going in there. Well, why is there a reason? The bathroom is still wet. It means it hasn't been long since the victim left it. I see. I'd like to see the inside if I may. No, trotting inside would destroy valuable evidence. It's nonsense. We're just looking. What evidence we're going to destroy? You youngsters think you can say anything, don't you? First rule of investigating a crime scene is to keep it intact. Don't you get it? Not even a single drop of water can evaporate under my watch. It'll be fine of us being anywhere other than the bathroom. If you really want to know, I'll tell you there's nothing of note inside there. Nothing. If there's something, it would have been something only detectable through ultra-fine professional scientific analysis. Oh, nonsense. And that's a job for the police, which is why nobody can enter the bathroom before the real detectives come. What a look of hogwash. Whatever, it's off limits. There has to be something inside. He's blocking it so we can't see anything. Okay, first of all, what's your name? Me? I'm James. I have a question for you, Mr. James. Do you mind? Go ahead. What I want to ask you is... Do you know when Samantha Mayer checked into a hotel? Oh, yes. She checked in yesterday evening. Checked in a bit after 8 in the evening and went to her room. Is there someone inside who saw Miss Mayer what she was doing after she went in the room? I'm not sure. I was at the lobby. I don't remember seeing her. I don't think she came downstairs to the first floor. First floor, the bar is also on the first floor, right? That's right. There's a bar on the first floor. There's also a restaurant. Pretty much everything's down there. Wait, that's strange. Then where's the sheriff? He wasn't there on the first floor. Well, documents say he'll meet with the bartender, so it doesn't have to be at the bar, does it? What I want to ask you is... Did you notice anything strange in the hotel yesterday or today? before you found out what happened at room 2805. Anything strange? No, not really. Did you notice anyone strange, or do you remember seeing anything unusual happening? Unusual? Oh, right, I remember. Last night, the fire alarm on the second floor went off. I thought it was tripped itself again earlier, right before you came here. Wait, it went off? How? When did it go off and how? Well, it suddenly malfunctioned around midnight. There wasn't a fire or anything. It's a relief that Officer Gregory here turned it off when everybody was confused. Oh, you heard that Officer Gregory was staying at room 3805 right above here, right? He said they heard the noise, came downstairs and figured out the fire alarm was malfunctioning. He was waiting right in front of the fire alarm to tell us that it was a malfunction. Why bring it up again? Not really a case in any way. You are fucking suspicious, dude. Not really rated? I don't think so. Fire alarm on the second floor is closer to Miss Mayer than you. She was staying at room 2805. You were staying at room 3805. The fact that you were the first one to reach the fire alarm means that Miss Mayer was not capable of hearing the alarm there. Oh, that makes sense. She could have been sleeping, or she was somewhere else. How did she know? It was not a fire, but just a malfunction. It doesn't take a genius to know, a police officer for a reason. Fire alarm malfunctioned around midnight. Officer Gregor was staying at room 3805 turned it off. Things have fallen into place too well for a coincidence. What I want to ask you is, what happened? Can you tell me again what happened when you first just opened the door and found a corpse? This time, please make sure you don't leave out any details, Mr. Jane. I'd like to hear everything you saw and heard. Everything, okay. Like I told you, as soon as I heard the gunshot, I first went downstairs to the first floor. I then told you what happened to my colleagues who worked in the lobby with me and my manager. Then we took the spare key upstairs. I did expect something horrible as soon as I heard the gunshot, but the stench of the blood and gunpowder was... Then the three of us rushed inside the room and she was on a bed like that. This has never happened here, so we're starting to panic. And then decided to leave the room, call the police, and after letting the others know. Then after you found the corpse, you didn't have time to look around the room, did you? Of course not. We didn't have the time for that. But if I knew, I would be considered suspect. I really should have seen if the key was there. Talked to Officer Gregor as soon as I found the body, right? Who of the 3 employees called him down here? I did. I thought he would be the first to get here. You dug your own grave. What I want to ask you is room service. I'm guessing room service is only available for guests who have booked a room? That's right. When you provide room service, guests will stay in a room, yes. I see. I looked at the menu just now and noticed that you also provide some party balloons. Is that right? You're talking about the room party package? That's right. I didn't think the hotel would prepare those things for the guests. How delicate. It's been a special thing for us. I'm assuming the offer cocktail is also available through room service. That's right. That cocktail is quite popular here, so the guests always want it too. That's a bit of a bonus perk for our guests, you could say. But is the version of the cocktail you ordered through room service identical to the one you serve at the bar? I noticed the unique thing about Sunset Valley is the dry ice waterfall and our umbrella decoration. Of course, all we need to do is put a slice of dry ice and the umbrella decoration on a drink. It's simple. We take the dry ice with us when we take it for room service and serve it the same way we do at the bar on the first floor. And what was it like yesterday? Any of the guests ordered Sunset Valley? Of course, as a matter of fact, Officer Gregory... What? What are you talking about? We ordered around 10 p.m. yesterday. You also ordered the party balloons. I remember taking them up to your room myself. I probably should not be talking about the guests' private matters like that. I'm sorry. Room service records hardly count as a private matter, though. The person died here. This much information isn't much to ask for, is it? Did anyone else here order Sunset Valley yesterday, other than Officer Gregory? Did anyone from room 2805 order it? Yes, that cocktail is really popular. All guests usually order at least one. I don't think guests at room 2805 ordered anything, but there are plenty of other orders. At least 30, I think. Huh, so it really wasn't a private matter, was it? Not ordering it would have been weirder, if anything. That's right. So I mentioned my name. I don't have anything to do with it, do I? But you ordered party balloons, too. Were you staying with someone else in your room, officer? It's not illegal to blow balloons alone, is it? I'm sorry, but you're long past the age where you should be blowing balloons alone. Well, I just don't like parties. Yesterday was a special day for me, so I had a little thing by myself. You got a problem with that? None whatsoever. Do you remember if any other guests ordered party balloons except for Officer Gregory, who was staying at room 3805? The balloons, I'm pretty sure 3805 was the only room that ordered the party package. Well, I know there are hundreds of guests here, but the balloons, not a lot of people order it. You were the only one who ordered it over the last few weeks. Don't just gloss over it like that. Give it some serious thought. You are getting so suspicious, officer. We're talking about some things with private matters. If the only guest who ordered the balloon was staying at room 3805, I guess it does count as a private matter, unlike the cocktail. Did you hear that? I better think of something else was sick of my privacy. There really wasn't anybody. What do you expect me to say? Officer Gregory ordered party balloons and a cocktail dry ice around 10 p.m. on 12th. That's important information. Things are beginning to fall in place. Okay. Foster, how was that I should go? Are you seriously gonna come down from now on? I'm just your humble assistant, Detective Foster. Forget it. Oh, this room is what they call a locked room. So there are two things that could happen to leading some of the staff. The mayor could lock doors herself and committed suicide. He was found inside the room, and simply put, this is the most plausible explanation for everything. Could have committed suicide up there, and the whole time employee coming to ask her about a credit card and all. She got fired a test bullet at 5:15 when an employee knocked. And she could have fired a real one when the employee was away. There's a key factor that shows the flaw in this suggestion, which is the clean hand. Fine. This is one of them, I think. I have to think it's the pen, though. What about this? It feels like this too, but it might be this one. Oh, okay, the simplest one. Whatever. Although Samantha Mayer died instantly from the gunshot to the head, her hand holding the gun had no traces of blood nor gunpowder. If she had committed suicide, it would only make sense that both the gun and the hand would be drenched in blood, but it's not. This would mean that whoever killed her set up the scene so it looked like a suicide scene. I agree. Even I noticed a few strange things about that. How's she holding the gun? And now it looks like there wasn't any recoil. If she pulled the trigger while she was lying down, the scene wouldn't have looked like this. So that leaves us with the second scenario. The murderer made the scene look like a locked room. Was that what you were getting at, the key and all? I don't think James did it. Officer Gregory got it all wrong. James was working with the other employees on the first floor. I don't think he had the time to kill her, nor does he have a good motive. Then, do you have different suspects? Someone who could have a reason to kill her? I'm trying to narrow down who could have committed crime during the time frame. The motive comes after that. Time frame. Do you mean 5:15 when the gun was fired? I noticed from the scene that 2 bullets were fired inside the room. One's at the bed and one's at Stephanie Mayer's head. That makes 2, yes? That's right, but there was only 1 audible gunshot. Where do you think the bullet James heard hit? The bed or Samantha Mayer's head? And why did nobody hear the other bullet? Who could have, when could have been fired? Let's find the answers to these questions. Okay. Gunshot was heard midnight. Nope. This is the body on the bed. This was fired at the bed. Then this one. I actually think it's not the 13. I actually think it was like the fire alarm yesterday. Oh my god. Nobody said they heard the second bullet, but the fire alarm malfunctioned close to midnight on the 12th. What if the incident at midnight wasn't a fire alarm malfunction, but an intentional trick the murderer used? Just like how we use a trick to pull the lever from far away to distract the employee. We could have come up with that trick if there wasn't the fishing line and the thumbtack there. The murderer made a loud noise at midnight using the same method, and he could have fired as many bullets as he liked while the alarm was blaring. So it begs the question, where did those bullets hit? I want to think that the bullet fired at 5:15 when James knocked on the door would have killed Stephanie Mayer. That leaves too many contradictions, considering how he didn't seem to have resisted. I believe the murderer shot the gun at the victim who was lying down on the bed. There would have been enough time for the murderer to do his job. But it's strange that the murderer would have shot the gun when it was clear that after James visited, he would have heard the noise and would have brought other employees upstairs. And the criminal wouldn't have known how many employees would be in the corridor either, if James wasn't the only employee that came for Samantha Mayer. And if one of them were guarding the door after the gunshot. Until the door is opened with the spare key, the murderer is sitting duck. It's not logical nor well planned, and it doesn't explain why the murderer would have shot the gun at the bed at midnight. James would have thought that Samantha Mayer would have been alive, since he heard a gunshot as soon as he knocked the door and found her a corpse. What if we imagine that Stephanie Mayer had been dead for longer? What if the murder at room 2805 had actually happened around midnight? The gunshot James heard when he knocked at the door was just an intentional trick the murderer came up in order to confuse when Samantha Mayer had actually died. The murder itself, it would have been easier to kill her while everyone was confused by the fire alarm, and it would have been less likely to be caught. The murderer used the noise he intentionally made with the trick to mask the gunshot, confuse the person who initially discovered the scene. I think it makes much more sense to think that the bullet was fired first during midnight at the victim's head, and then later at the bed around 5:15. Let's forget about how the murderer could have shot the bullet at the right time and make this room locked, at least for a moment. The murderer shot Stephanie Mayer dead near midnight. Who could have shot her in a defenseless state like that late at night inside the victim's own room? There's a clue that points to someone who had killed her, and it's among her belongings. The note she left for the person she was supposed to meet at the bar. The note she left on the memo pad on the table says Stephanie Mayer met with someone at 11. She was supposed to hand over the promised thing. She suggested meeting at the hotel bar, and she also had a cocktail umbrella on her. Excuse me. Last night around 11 p.m., the victim went to the bar on the first floor of the hotel. Excuse me, I'm sorry if I'm interrupting anything. Yes, what's wrong? I just heard you said that she met someone at the bar around 11 p.m. last night. Oh yeah. Found that Miss Mayer wrote something like that on a notepad over here. You said nobody saw her on the first floor, but she did have the umbrella decoration from the limited offer cocktail on her. But the hotel bar, you see, we close at 9. What? The bar closes at 9? Yes, that's right. Around 11 p.m., all the bartenders were clocked out. They should have by then. I thought you should know. I see, then she could have gone to the bar around 11 p.m. This joke's getting better every minute. I guess our tripology detective here couldn't work out a real case like this, I'm not a child can work this case out. Thanks to Mr. James, I believe I know what really happened here. Not that you're dead and you're trying anything. The hotel bar is a place Samantha Mayer suggested. Since she isn't from Summerset, she wouldn't have known the operating hours at the bar at this hotel. The important thing isn't where she met this person, but there's evidence that she did drink with someone. This umbrella is used to decorate the Sunset Valley cocktail that the Hotel Clara offers, right? What does this piece of junk have to do with anything? There are two ways she could have gotten her hands on Sunset Valley. She could have gone downstairs to the bar, or she could have ordered it through room service. According to James, it's improbable that she went to the bar on the first floor. It closes at 9. Nobody downstairs saw her around. The only other way would be to order room service, but there were no room service orders from room 2805, so it must mean that Miss Mayer went to a different room and had the cocktail. Went to a different room. It would not have been a problem if she was meeting with a person who was already staying at the same hotel. Would have been more convenient that way without any prying eyes. So since they knew each other to go to their rooms, the murderer could have killed her in cold blood without her resisting. Also, remember is that guy reckon more than 30 people ordered alcohol through room service last night. How are you going to figure out what room it was of all those rooms, huh? You could check every single one of them. We don't have time to look through all of them. Why did you not have time? The murderer is an idiot. Of course he would have cleaned up after himself by now. You're right, officer. A meticulous criminal like this would not have left any evidence in his own room. Did I really tell you about this? Pitiful. Knowing that one of the guests at the Hotel Clara was the murderer is already very useful. It's possible to deduce where this Miss Murderer stayed using the other clues that we have on hand. What, there's more? Well, I actually know how the murderer got inside this room, so I ran an experiment to see if it would actually be possible. The murderer brought Samantha Mayer to his own room, got her drunk with cocktail, ordered with room service, then the murderer brought her to room 2805 and laid her on the bed. Then he operated the fire alarm around midnight in order to mask the sound of him shooting the gun at her head. Now, the murderer did pull the lever himself, and crafted a device using a balloon, some dry ice, fishing line, and a thumbtack in order to pull the lever automatically. A device? An emergency hammer attached to the lever of the alarm with a steady fishing line was put on a balloon. Then the dry ice inside the balloon expanded and the balloon exploded as it touched the thumbtack stuck to the ground. The hammer would have fallen and with its weight the lever would have been pulled. But why would the murderer do something ridiculous like that? would be risky to pull the lever himself. Run to room 2805 and then shoot the gun. An employee might have gotten to the second floor before he could make it inside room 2805 after hearing the fire alarm. If the employee noticed that it was a simple malfunction, he would turn the alarm off immediately. It would have been safer for the murderer to shoot her as soon as the alarm was tripped. That explains why the fishing line tunnel was left there. The murderer was sloppy and didn't clean up after himself. Sloppy? The murderer would have been quite pleased with himself that he got the job done. Nobody was confused because of the gunshot. They were busy trying to figure out why the alarm was tripped. The next thing he did was to fire the bullet again when James knocked on room 2805's door. Like I said, at this point the murderer would have been in room 2805. The murderer already knew how to pull an object from far away. One of the tools he used to make the device that tripped the fire alarm during midnight was used to pull the trigger from outside the room, and that is... the fishing line, which is thin, long, and sturdy enough. That's what the murderer used to pull the trigger after he saw James head to room 2805. That's nonsense! You think this is that simple? You can't just say that he must have done this to frame someone. Ah, the fishing wire? Yeah, maybe the fishing wire. God knows how you saw that, but still. Okay, let's just say the murderer might have used it. But there isn't any fishing line in room 2805. The room and the windows were locked. Where could that fishing line have entered and left the room? Your deduction is full of holes. So all you need is evidence that fishing line was used to pull the trigger in this room, yes? I don't need anything. I'm not going to listen to you talk nonsense without proof. Don't worry, there's a clue that shows how the bullet was fired inside room 2805 and how it hit the bed. The clue shows the bullet's trajectory. What the trajectory? First thing first, the mattress where Samantha Mayer is lying on is where the bullet hit. The bullet travels in a straight line from the barrel, which must mean that when the trigger was pulled, the gun must have been at... Okay, I need to imagine if the trigger was pulled. Not it. Fishing line... That must mean that, well, what did she say? A position should be higher than the mattress. It's in room 2804's door and windows were all closed and it was fired around 5 p.m. This means that the murderer used a fishing line, which is the only object that could have passed through the narrow space between the closed window and floated the gun mid-air. From which direction, therefore, would the line have been pulled so that the murderer could control the fishing line? Right, the only place the gun could have been fired from is above. That way the gun could have been draped to room 2805 and the fishing line could have been controlled from above. The locked window and the gun that was fallen right next to it are the clues that reveal the truth behind this gunshot trick. The murderer tied a fishing line to the trigger and fixed the gun between the ceiling and the window. Even if the window's closed, there's still some room for a fishing line to go through. If the fishing line is pulled again, it would have pulled the trigger. And the bullet fired would have hit the bed. It wasn't necessary to wonder why the bullet was fired at the bed. The objective was a confused employee who rushed up to the room hearing the gunshot. It didn't matter where the bullet hit. There's no way the bullet would have hit the car in this way. The person who put this plan to motion and could have pulled the fishing line from above is the person who was staying at room 3805, directly above room 2805. It's you, Officer Gregory. It's you. Yeah, that's scream. I'm not gonna scream. Damn, why are you screaming? You crazy runt. Cut your crap. You first draped the gun from room 3805 window with the fishing line, then stuck it between room 2805 windows, didn't you? After you shot the gun, you could have pulled up the fishing line and then cut it with a pair of scissors to retrieve the wire. No wonder why the fishing line wasn't found in the room. I already know that you intentionally dropped a few bullets on the floor and put a different gun in the back, because a gun just dropped on the windowsill would look suspicious. You would have known because you were in a hurry, but the back was drenched with ink that leaked from the bottle. Ink? And if the gun is spotless, must mean that someone must have put it in the back later. Just like how the gun you put in her hand was clean as her left hand. You brat! You think you can do anything because you're the sheriff's daughter? And remember what you said when you tried to frame James as the murderer. When this murderer came inside, pretending as if he was the first one to be at the scene at 5:30, while the other staff were confused and panicking from the smell of blood and gunpowder in the room, the sneaky murderer left the room 280 room key that he stole from Stephanie Mayer on the table right there. Only the first person who could found the body could secretly leave the key at the scene and make it look like a locked room. Making the scene look like a locked room, using the room 2805 key as soon as the doors opened. You were so confident that James allegedly used the trick because you used this method yourself. Yeah? And he screams again. So, like, why are you? You said you asked this question first, when you first got to the scene. What did you say when I asked the staff who was first found the scene as if they'd see the key if they entered the room? You said you didn't have time to notice it. Nobody saw it if there was a key on the table as soon as you lot got in here. You asked him if the key was there or not as soon as you got inside the room, and that was because you were worried that they might have noticed the key was missing from the room before the police got there. What? That's nonsense. That's crazy. There's no way. You had to find out if your final trick that would have made the room locked worked, didn't you? Ah, so this crime was impossible because he was a cop. You how? Actually, I have a question. Why did you not let us in the bathroom? Maybe because he filled the bathroom with ice. Ice? Third trap that would have confused people as to when the victim died after the first two traps. If he put ice in the bathroom before any employees got to room 2805, the ice would have melted and the bathroom would be wet. And then by the point the body was found, people would think that the victim just took a shower. But somehow there must have been a mistake in calculating the time it would take for the ice to melt. It would have been strange to have ice cubes rolling around the bathroom after all. So you're right. I guess this was also from the bar. Don't go inside, I told you not to touch it. Ah, you murder scum. When are you going to start owning up to what you did? Do you have proof? You don't have any proof that I did it. If we search your room and find the fishing line, that'll be proof enough. Then should we head upstairs? Wait, you haven't given me a chance to speak. Shouldn't you give me a chance to speak? I know who did this. I already did before you two came here. Please, go ahead. Who did it? Alright. The murder is TCS. I didn't do it, you fools. TCS? How's TCS relevant to anything that happened here? Look at these clothes. Clothes, the labels are missing. You get it now? You should have by now. TCS killed her. Nope. Labels missing, but that's really it. You idiot. 10 years ago, TCS killed a man whose clothes didn't have any labels on. Is he talking about Bruce Wicks? His clothes were clearly missing any labels, too. This woman was also executed by TCS for the same reason. In this locked room, where it's difficult to find out true murderer, only TCS, a master of unsolved crimes, will be able to kill a person that way. Forget about locked room bit already. Detective Foster already found out who the murderer is. You killed Samantha Mayer. As if you lousy detective wannabes can come up with anything useful. Well, we can go upstairs to room 3805 together to see if we can find any tools like fishing lines. If it turns out that I actually made a bad judgment, I'll consider the possibility that TCS killed her. So, if you're really innocent, I guess you could show me upstairs. You insolent, how dare you? Out of my way! And he's trying to make it not so easy. Let me go! James, come here, empty his pockets, every single one of them. Me? Who else is called James? Come on! Found it, the fishing line. Knew it. Empty his jacket, too. His jacket. Who died? So that's what Stephanie Mayer... I'm so sorry. No offense to Stephanie Mayer. I just saw the surname Mayer. It just came out of my mouth. I meant Samantha Mayer. Samantha Mayer. I told me Stephanie Mayer. I'm sorry. You won't get away with this. James, go get the other employees. Tell them we got the murderer. Okay. Moments later. Phew, was that it? Yeah, that was really cool. Blue diamond. I guess that was a promise thing. No, I mean, that was cool, but still. How did you know everything happened in the trick? Fishing line trick? You saw it in the corridor too, Ben. Well, I did. I saw it. But just because you see something doesn't mean that you can't figure out how it was used elsewhere. That takes talent. Deducing something doesn't take talent. It's more about how you objectively can view a situation. And the drive to solve the case. Okay, I think that's what matters. Drive, you say? I mean, you noticed something was inside the jacket. Well, that only makes sense. Regardless of whether you got the promised thing or stole it, you wouldn't have let something as important as that go. But is he even an actual police officer? Unfortunately, yes. I've seen him a few times at the station. A cop that brings innocent siblings of his own crimes. That's really messed up. Maybe I should have just beat him up a bit more. Oh, the stand. You did that on purpose, didn't you? Right? Just to make me feel something. Huh? What are you talking about? I hit you with that stand. You're making a reference. Oh, that mansion thing. Not something to laugh about. So you actually do regret that, huh? I'm just following the example of the greatest mind of all time, Detective Kelvin Foster. I'm sorry. Forget it, Celine. I know what happened. That was the only thing you could use, I guess. Okay, so where to now? We didn't see anyone who looked like the sheriff on the first floor. Actually, I thought I might go upstairs to room 3805. Room 3805 where the cop was staying? What for? It's the murderer's room. I thought there might be some other clues there. I'd like to see if my deduction was correct, too. I mean, you were correct. That's what the cop was waffling about, how TCS did it because the clothes didn't have any labels on it. Oh, yeah, that. A bit about TCS, too. This murder happened while the town was all shaken up by the fake article about TCS and Scarlet West. Yeah, for a random person, it would look like the two murders happened over 2 days. How can you mention TCS was the real killer when he was coronered? I think that this case might have something to do with TCS. Can you even go inside room 2805? Wouldn't you be locked? The one who put the room key on the table was Officer Gregory, right? And that was because he was worried that they might have noticed key was missing from the room before the police got there. Yeah, that's the best part of the case. Guess we could call it Kelvin Foster's silent gunshot at the locked room key. Well, I know I said that just now, but I thought truth might be a bit different. The detective acknowledges she might have made a tiny mistake. I won't say anything if you won't take me seriously. I'm sorry, Detective. Please continue. Anyway, I thought it would be too risky for the murderer to let the employees in the scene without there being a key inside room 2805. Good point. He was really lucky the 3 employees were all too confused to notice whether the key was there. And that's what Officer Gregory said. He didn't ask because of a stupid reason like that. He knew that it was stupid not to leave the key inside the room. Then how do you do it? That's the only key. The room was closed. How do you leave a key after the room has been locked? What, do you use the fishing line and the gun trick again? Well, that would have been too challenging. The murderer was also a guest in this hotel like Samantha Mayer. What if the murderer left his own key in room 2805? His key? You mean the room 3805 key? Yeah. All the keys in the hotel look the same. So it's difficult to see what keys open what room unless you look at carefully. So he would have thought whoever comes to the scene first would not have been looking at the key when the bloody corpse is right there. He would have been caught out if any of the employees were like you. So that's why he asked whether they have seen the key as soon as he got here. He was 99% sure nobody had it, but he couldn't be 100% sure. Anyway, if that's what happened, doesn't that mean that the room 3805 was kept unlocked ever since Samantha Mayer's room has been locked? That sounds about right. The murderer didn't go back to his room after he switched the keys out. Well, those little things are what I want to look for. I think this will be our own chance to take a look. Let's get going before the employees or the cops swarm the place. Good idea. So we're now at room 3805. The door really is unlocked, Celine. You're right. Yeah, although I came up with that part later. Oh, who cares? You got the murderer. That's what counts. The room looks exactly the same as 2805. You should look through this room before anyone else comes. And I think this is the perfect place to end today's stream. You know, on a cliffhanger. Again, sorry, Stephanie Meyer. I did not mean to say your name. I just saw the surname and just thought of Stephanie Meyer. I meant Samantha Meyer. Again, nothing against you, Stephanie. Okay, I like you. Just, I mean, Stephanie Meyer is like the person who wrote the Twilight books. That's why I think that it came into my head. I like those books, you know, Twilight. I enjoyed reading the books and watching the movies. So that's what the first name that came up to my mind when I see Mayor, Stephanie Meyer. It just popped in my head. I did not mean you. My bad. No offense, okay? And don't hate on me, and fans of Stephanie Meyer. Yeah, it just came out of my mouth. I meant Samantha. Okay, Samantha. But yeah, it's getting late. And it's now like 1:36 a.m. You know, I still gotta work out for a bit and then grab something to eat and then go to bed. I don't want to sleep too late. So I'll stop here for today and then stream again tomorrow. For those of you watching me on YouTube, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.